It's time for some hoops at the home of the New York Knicks. We're bringing it to you live on 2K Sports. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. A factor in every game, Michael Jordan will be on display.
Well, if you want to see him take his game to another level, just put a little extra something on the line. Big games are usually where he excels.
It's obvious, Steve, when he gets amped up, good things happen.
The Knicks happy to return to New York after the road trip. Well, compared to last season, you'd have to say the start to this season has not been quite what you'd expect. They hope to improve their record with the win tonight, certainly.
Looking at the Knicks, they've started the season in a tailspin. This was not what was supposed to happen.
It's almost like they were too relaxed coming into the season. I mean, you can't just expect to be good. You've got to earn it in this league. It's too competitive.
Hardaway, no good.
You know, guys, it seemed to be a great fit initially in Denver with McGee and the Nuggets. He had a bit of a wake-up call from George Karl last season when Karl said of McGee, lazy and crazy isn't going to make it work. He definitely wants to see more out of his young center.
Here's Jordan in the game against Philadelphia. Very impressive. And he finishes nicely on the layup.
And the layup just gift-wrapped right there. I mean, he had a clear path to the basket.
And with JaVale McGee, his then-coach Karl said he's a tremendous talent. Karl just wants him to be more fundamentally sound.
Well, he said it on multiple occasions. And one of the reasons McGee never got into the starting lineup under Karl was that he was too sporadic with his effort. He'd make a spectacular play and then turn it around and make a bad one. So he needs consistency in his game. Now, Klay Thompson making NBA money. I'll tell you what, he learned from his father, Michael Thompson, who played a long time in the NBA. And his dad taught him, hey, you better live on a monthly stipend. You got to save your money, son. So good advice from Pops.
Now here's Jordan, averaging 28 points a game. And that one's good.
They're off and running. Good start here. They've knocked down 4 of their first 5.
And here are the Knicks now. 7-point differential. They're coming off that win against the Nets.
Tell you what, the way they shot the ball that game, Kevin, it looked like a shoot-around out there.
It sure did, and all the more impressive because they did it on the road. You're not supposed to be able to get that hot in an opponent's building.
The Magic have gone 4 of 5 from the field so far. You know, to go back, there's the cliche of the athlete who doesn't save for retirement. It's got to be a good thing for Klay Thompson to have that restraint, I would think.
And what I like, Kevin, the focus for him is on basketball and getting better. No entourage, no shopping sprees. Everything is pretty low-key and close to the vest. I mean, he's a gym rat, wants to be a great player, not interested in glamour and celebrity. He wants the ball.
I like the fact he lives on a tight budget, and, you know.
Oh, ridiculous.
Tore it down that time.
Out of this world, aerial skills for a guy of his size.
Kevin, that's what separates him from some of the other point guards around the league. The ability to rise and throw it down.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that spurs them on. Maybe sparks a little bit of a comeback here.
And that was Kia bringing you the close-up on the big-time play. And the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back.
A bit of a wobbly start for him. Seems unable to keep a hold of the ball.
Yeah, he needs to settle down right now. 3 turnovers already.
Here's Jordan. Pass to Robinson. First quarter of play. We're about 3 minutes in. Horry gets the bucket.
And that's 10 straight points in the paint. I mean, defensively, the wind has just been knocked out of their sails.
Need to get more bodies committed down low.
Hardaway kicks to Pierce. Poked loose. Here we go, one-on-one. Horry against Pierce. Outside for Jordan. Grant the pass to Jordan. And again, it's the Magic from deep.
Huge advantage for them already.
And as well as they've played at both ends so far, this lead might continue to grow.
Here's Hardaway. McGee with the block. Just over 3.5 minutes gone here in the first. Robinson passes to Horry. Robinson dishes to McGee. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
Well, you know, JaVale McGee was taken 18th overall out of Nevada back in 2008. You hear about teams reaching in the draft for size. Well, that wasn't the case this time. You look at this kid's physical gifts, the tallest standing reach in the NBA, he stands alone in that category.
So a new group on the floor for Orlando. Magic leading by 11. And there's the whistle. It's going to go on Andrew Nicholson. That's his first foul. Orlando making some changes. Perkins comes in for JaVale McGee. And Walton subbed in for Ori. It's stolen. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Luke Walton. That is his first foul of the game.
Second team foul.
1:51 left in the first. Cassell kicks to Evans. Goes up the baseline. It's stolen by Turkoglu.
That is one of the more difficult passes to make. He had a very narrow gap to squeeze it through, and he couldn't get it done. They've made one basket after another since getting this game started, and you wonder, is the blowout in store?
Too early to say that and go there, Steve, but it has been pretty ugly so far.
And for JaVale McGee, not just long, but also athletic. You think of him in the dunk contest, dunking 2 balls on 2 baskets at once. It was a very creative way to go at it.
It's incredible to watch McGee out on the floor, dunking, blocking shots, running like a deer. Still very young, 25 years of age, but he can get a lot better, I think, with his game as he develops his skills.
Cassell against Turkoglu. Here's Evans. No good with the triple. For Orlando, they won their last contest, that game against the 76ers.
How about the box score from that game? The accuracy from the three-point line, just remarkable.
Yeah, it was a stream of threes that allowed them to repeatedly deflate that crowd.
Here's Turkoglu. Throws down the breakaway jam.
And the early lead just keeps on growing. Another basket.
And the way they've done it is with an extremely potent inside attack.
32 seconds left to play in the first quarter. It's stolen by Turkoglu. Robinson drives in.
They tried to step in and cut him off, but just not quick enough.
And we have the benefit of replay, but I think they got that one right, which is the case most times, even though fans don't think so.
Orlando shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night.
Well, they've been a relatively poor free throw shooting team, about 72% as a unit.
You know, their percentages dropped off just a little bit compared to last year, guys, but it's not a huge drop-off, so no major concern.
The Magic making a switch here. Beverly's checked in. Cassell the pass to Diaw. The shot's good. Cassell making the play. And 3 from Jordan, and he gets the bucket. Jordan's got 14 points.
Well, it's kind of been the story here today, hasn't it, Clark?
And as the first quarter wraps.
Coming up this Saturday.
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start the second quarter. And a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for the Magic.
They've got to be happy with their defense right now, and they're converting turnovers into points.
Another big aspect of their game tonight has been the fast break, transition opportunities. They're really keeping it up-tempo so far.
Hardaway is out there with Thompson. Then there's Boris Diaw. Then it's Jared Sullinger. And it's Pierce in at the small forward. They're the group New York will start the second with.
That's been a great day for him, and if you remember, he gave them a huge performance their last time out as well.
You know, the Knicks got off to a fast start, but when you employ as many old bodies as they did last year, it's hard to sustain the level of play you need over the course of a full season. It's one reason they started to falter a bit late in the year.
And Clark, you said it, the Knicks did hit that lull last season right after the All-Star break into early March. But Steve, when the vets saw the finish line in sight, they picked up their play and got back in it.
That's right. They won 13 games in a row late in the season, catapulting themselves back into the top tier of teams in the East, and let everyone know that they would not be exiting the playoffs early. That really was the start of that run.
Here's Jordan. Throws it down as the official calls the foul. It may be a three-point play. That one on Thompson.
My goodness, he sure can get off the ground.
One of the best in the business for sure. You're right.
Such an imposing finisher around the rim. Intimidating to the defense, really.
How about Michael Jordan in this one? 19 points, and he's picked up 6 points from behind the arc.
His outside stroke has looked really good today.
Boy, look at the big ups, Clark.
Major bounce there. I mean, he can fly, folks. Really fly.
And we're seeing more and more of that, it seems, guys, out of the point guard spot in the NBA these days.
And it's good. Grant's got his first basket.
They're going to have to tighten up defensively, guys, because they're really giving up way too many open looks.
Outside Hardaway. Pass to Pierce. It's hauled in by the Magic. This, their first look at this year's New York squad.
Yeah, here we go. The first in what will be a 3-game season series between these two this year. A large part of what they've been able to do here is centered around his offense.
Outside Hardaway. Pierce against Horry. Pierce's shot is good. And because of the odd number of games between them guys, the one thing we know is that one of these teams will have bragging rights over the other at the end of the season.
Exactly, Kevin. And that makes tonight's game, I think, a little more interesting and intriguing. I mean, whoever wins this one will have a big advantage going into the next two.
And now the first timeout called here for the Magic.
Well, he sees something that he doesn't like. I'm not sure what it is, but I think he's going to make some changes here.
I think you've got to make your adjustments pretty quickly like he's doing here. Otherwise, things can get out of hand. So this is a good timeout.
Luke Walton's checked in for Orlando. Hardaway with the steal. And here's the fast break. And here they go. And there's Thompson. That's good on the assist from Penny Hardaway.
Dropped that one in as soft as a feather using the finger roll.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Thanks, Kev. Mike Woodson had some words for his team over that last break. Back to fundamentals. That's what he told them. Specifically, he'd like to see them implement the pick and roll as often as possible. I'm sure Coach is hoping those changes turn the tide in this game and shrink the deficit before halftime. Back to you, Kevin.
And thank you, Doris. Here he comes, and there he goes.
Look at him punish that rack.
The guys on the bench are going crazy right now at the sight of that jam.
Terrence Ross is checked in for Luke Walton. The Knicks have been successful on 3 of their 4 free throw attempts up to this point.
There was a lot of talk about the Magic not getting equal value when they traded Dwight Howard to the Lakers before last season, but you take a look at how both teams started, the Lakers and the Magic, and for a time there, the Magic had a better record early in the season than the Lakers. So I think it worked out okay for the Magic. And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with the way they work down low.
Well, it's become one of the stories of the first half, Clark, just piling up points in the paint.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
Well, Clark, like you said, hard to believe, but it's true. The Magic did have a better record than the Lakers for the early part of the season, but that was mostly due to a surprise down year from the Lakers, Steve, and a hot start for Orlando.
And remember, the Magic did get that big win at Staples against L.A. That was kind of a revenge for the D. Howard trade. But as time wore on, the Magic's lack of talent showed, and they really struggled the rest of the season.
And that one's good. Grant's got 6 points in the quarter.
Boy, after struggling in the first quarter, he's come alive here in the second.
Now here is Hardaway, guarded by DeColo, and the basket by Olynyk.
And they're beginning to fall apart a little bit defensively, especially inside.
Well, that's 4 straight buckets now at the rim.
DeColo dishes to Grant. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one, drawing the whistle on a lot of contact there. For Orlando, they have gone 4 for 5 from the charity stripe in this one up to now.
Well, for a long time for the New York fans, going to see a Knicks game was an exercise in masochism, but they've turned it around in a big way, and now this is a tough place to play for a road team.
Here's what Orlando's going with right now. Perkins is checked in for Grant. Turkoglu comes in for Horry. And Nate Robinson is subbed in for Michael Jordan. Here's DeColo, and he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed.
Regardless of who starts the break, seems like he's usually the one to finish it.
And that's because of how well he attacks the rim on the dead run.
Sullinger with the bucket. And Clark, that's what winning's going to do for you. The Knicks had the second best home record in the East last season as they won 31 games here.
Well, you know, Kevin, there's so much mystique here in this building. I mean, everybody loves to play in New York. It's the mecca for basketball in this country. And when NBA players come into New York, they can't wait to play against this Knicks team. And the Knicks, they want to defend their home floor. That's a shot he's got to hit. I mean, you don't get too many better looks from that range.
Turkoglu against Hardaway. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. Hardaway has got 14 points.
I'll tell you what, he's enjoyed a very good day shooting the ball so far. He can bring them right back into this.
Robinson with it. Now guarded by Olynyk. Three-pointer. And it's Robinson that time on the assist from Turkoglu. 7 points for Nate Robinson.
You can't leave him alone, especially from long range.
Hardaway kicks to Sullinger. That's good.
Very clever passing. That was just beautifully done.
We've got 22 seconds left to play in the first half. Outside Robinson. Perkins with a screen on Hardaway. Robinson kicks to Perkins. Back to Robinson. 1 second left. It's blocked. And it's out of bounds to the Magic as Orlando will retain possession. So as we conclude the first half, so far fairly one-sided. It's the Magic running away with it. And
Yes, Kevin, I'm here with Mike Woods.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Good evening. The halftime break is upon us, and let's get... It'll be the 76ers.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
a great shot there of the skyline of Manhattan as we get back to the action. What a game we're seeing from Michael Jordan.
And what was most impressive was that his decision-making and shot-taking was very disciplined and efficient. Really an excellent half.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Whether it's been from mid-range or in tight, he is taking only what the defense has given him, and he's not trying to do too much. I love the flow and rhythm he's playing with here.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. On the court for Orlando, Grant is out there with JaVale McGee. Then there's Ori, then it's Jordan, and it's Robinson in at the one. Magic leading by 19. He feeds it to Jordan. He dishes it to McGee. Back to Jordan. Outside Robinson. Here's Ori. The putback and the slam dunk by McGee.
Was there any doubt what he was going to do with that putback? Flush it down.
Oh, that's some energy we just witnessed right there.
And that's the kind of energy you need on the offensive glass. That's the only way to get it done. Now, he was right there, but the defensive pressure forced that miss.
Well contested. That really made it a tough shot. Clearly, Orlando was a team in transition last year. They had a group of younger, inexperienced players, and many times when that's the case, you'll get off to slow starts in games, and that certainly proved to be true for the Magic.
Cassell, the pass to Diop. That falls. Great assist by Sam Cassell. Cassell's got 3 assists now in this one. Magic have gone 2 of 3 from the field to start the second half. Now a timeout called by Orlando. Well, Clark, you mentioned that the Magic were at the very bottom of the league when it came to scoring in the first quarter of games. Steve, you got to get better as the game went on, obviously, but you can't start every game in a hole down like they did and expect to do well.
Well, we just go back to the roster, and that explains everything. I mean, you look at who they had, the lack of a go-to scorer out of the gates, and that explains the slow start. So this is really all about continuing to build the roster and try to put together some talent.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Hey, guys. Well, Mike Woodson had some advice for the team over that last break. The ball has to be fed into the low post much more than it has been to this point. That was his message. He said, they're giving us room down low. Let's take advantage of it. Clearly, some adjustments there had to be made because the time left for a comeback is quickly running out. Kevin, over to you.
Thanks again, Doris. Robinson kicks to Grant. 6 on the shot clock. That's good. Grant's got 10.
They'll take as many of those looks as they can get.
A difficult situation for New York. They set the pick. Here's Hardaway, and he banks in the layup.
Really tough to get that shot off with the size differential there. It's not an individual matchup he's going to win every time, especially in the post.
Very well done. I didn't think he had any business operating down there with the big fellas. And how sweet a play was that?
As sweet as it gets. An exquisite pass to set up Clark, that beautiful alley-oop dunk.
Yeah, it was nice.
Just a gorgeous assist.
It's Pierce on the wing. Thompson dishes to Pierce. Back to Thompson. Rejected by Grant. Robinson against Hardaway. There's the block. To the inside, Sullinger, and he caught that pass in full stride on his way to the big slam.
The defense just couldn't recover in time.
Yeah, the D pretty much went brain neutral on that one, Clark. Wouldn't
Yes,
you?
sir. I like that phrase.
Yeah, I don't use that phrase very often, but to me, that's what happened. He shifted the brain into neutral.
Yes, he did.
That was embarrassing. He's tried to get it going, but the shots just have not dropped for him today.
Magic leading by 21.
You know, Jared Sullinger was one of the top prospects in the 2012 draft, but concerns about his back dropped him to the 21st pick by Boston. And, you know, those concerns were well-founded. He ended up going under the knife in February after a back issue in Boston. He did play well, though, prior to that injury.
Shoots the three. Once again off the mark, Orlando. The Knicks have gone 3 of 6 in the third quarter, 50% from the field. Hardaway passes to Pierce. The Knicks rebound. And Olynyk kicks to Thompson. Gets the three-pointer to fall. Thompson's got 7 points.
And what I like about him, he needs very little time to get his shot off. If he has just a bit of room, that's all it takes. In a catch-and-shoot situation, he's going to let it fly.
And Steve, just like you, when you shot, you had a favorite spot on the floor when you played. His favorite spot seems to be that three from the corner.
Yep.
Back to Sullinger, he'd been playing pretty much all season in pain, showing a lot of grit and toughness, I thought, Clark, as the season wore on.
Yeah, Kevin, and the good news as his back recovers is that his game was never really based on his leaping ability. His game is low to the ground, based on savvy and skill. He's strong, powerful, and again, very skilled. So the recovery prognosis is good, and I think he's looking forward to a long and productive career. He's a really good basketball player.
Grant, that's good.
And that'll increase their rebound advantage. They've definitely been winning that battle on the board.
Well, the main thing is they haven't allowed many second chance opportunities. That is always going to allow you to maintain your lead.
And here's the fast break. Jordan leading the way. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. That one on Thompson.
You know, for a long time, the Knicks were viewed as a young team on the rise, but when they added Rasheed Wallace last year, the average age went to 32, which was the oldest team in the league last season, and you saw it in their play. They were a group of veterans out there.
The Magic making a switch here. Bazemore is checked in. There's a good screen. The kick out to Pierce. Again, Pierce missing. Hardaway with the steal. Oh, and there's the one-handed jam.
Boy, the kind of moments you love to see. Excellent defense leading to a dunk at the other end.
Clark, you got to marvel at the transition game when they've got it clicking. It's really explosive.
High octane for sure.
Oof. Turning defensive pressure into offensive opportunities, that's what it's all about.
You know, he may lack grace, but his length makes up for it. He can still throw it down now.
Well, you don't have to be a fantastic leaper when you're his size.
Well, it's too bad because with a little more athleticism, can you imagine how dangerous he'd be underneath the boards?
Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, he had a really good look. I mean, he'll knock that down more often than not.
And here's the intentional foul, but you know, it's coming here at a very inopportune time.
Yeah, that's a bad play there. I mean, that can really cost you the game. You've got to be smart when you make those intentional fouls.
Good on both.
Can you believe the job they're doing at the foul line since halftime? I mean, they've been perfect so far.
Yeah, sometimes it's contagious. Everybody starts to get comfortable and relaxed, and everything goes in the hoop.
Well, there you go. One team operating on all cylinders at either end, steals, fast break buckets, and the other team scrambling to find its game.
Yeah, they've done a great job causing havoc and then taking advantage in transition offensively.
And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout.
Coming up Tuesday.
And Steve, we've got a moment here to go to our State Farm assist of the game, coming on some very clever point guard play.
Well, he mans that position for a reason, Kevin, because he passes the ball so well, sets up his teammates beautifully, really gets this offense into a nice rhythm.
Delivering the pass important, but putting the pass in the right place for a shooter is, as you well know, huge.
Yep, no question.
We've got Boris Diaw. Klay Thompson is out there with Hardaway. Then it's Pierce, and it's Nicholson in at the power forward position. So that's who's on the floor for the Knicks. And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for two.
You know, you look at Paul Pierce, and his body doesn't speak strength because he doesn't have a ton of definition, but you watch him finish against bigger players on a consistent basis. It's not until you bump into him that you recognize how power-packed he is and how strong he is.
Horry's checked in for Terrence Ross. Thompson with the bucket.
It makes it so easy for your teammate when you can lead him with a pass like that one.
Magic leading by 17. Robinson goes in, doubled by Hardaway. Here's Bazemore, guarded by Hardaway. And Bazemore kicks to Robinson. Rejected by Pierce. Out of bounds as Orlando keeps possession. And Orlando making a change here. Jordan's checked in.
Michael Jordan.
2 on the clock. Shot from the inbound. Hits the front of the rim and out. And Pierce, 6'7", 235. He uses that size and strength, always has. A good rebounder, tough defender. He has been this wonderful player for such a long time. And again, what I like with just the single franchise.
Yeah, and you think about his matchups against LeBron James in the playoffs over the years. Pierce, one of the few wings that wasn't overpowered by James. Just a sign of how strong he is.
Out left of the wing. Hardaway with it. Robinson picks him up. Pierce attacking.
Well, offensively, he needs much less space to operate than most players. It's amazing how well he can get his shot off, even with somebody right in his face.
You know, even the tightest defensive pressure doesn't seem to faze him in the least. I mean, you can attribute it to his concentration, where he has incredible focus, or you could just say he's one of those gifted scorers.
Grant, he's checked in for Orlando. McGee inside. Diaw's there. The shot's good from McGee. We're about 2 minutes into the fourth quarter in this one. Robinson against Hardaway. McGee with the block. But they recover it. Thompson dishes to Pierce. Picked him clean. Robinson left side. Knicks trail by 15. One-on-one here. Here's Pierce. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Hardaway. Hardaway has got assist number 8 now on the night. Orlando's gotten fewer than half of their three-pointers to go down tonight. They're 4 for 9. Robinson with it. Picked up by Thompson. Jordan against Hardaway. And the shot is good. That's 29 points for Jordan.
They've built this lead through plays exactly like that. He's easily been their most consistent performer.
Well, he's been splashing everything today.
Here he comes, and there he goes.
Look at him punish that rack.
You know, the guys on the bench are going crazy right now at the sight of that jam.
Magic leading by 13. Now a timeout called by Orlando.
Well, the Magic Magic ended up with just 20 wins on the season, which would be the worst record in the NBA last year, but they at least weren't dead last when it came to wins on the road. Still tied, though, for third worst in the league.
So for the Knicks, Olynyk comes in for Boris Diaw, and Jared Sullinger subbed in for Andrew Nicholson. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Yes, over the break, I listened in on Jacques Vaughn's huddle. He told the players, let's put our foot on them and keep them down. We've got them exactly where we want them. I want to see you guys slow the pace, use the clock, and stay away from any silly fouls.
Grant the pass to Jordan, and Jared Sullinger picks up the foul. When you're a team like the Magic last season trying to find an identity in a rebuilding year, Steve, it can be hard to gel as a cohesive unit on the road.
Well, the whole year it seemed like a lot of the team was trying to figure out the kind of the nuances of the team dynamics, of the talent of the new coaching staff, and it's frustrating when you're just getting beaten up every night. But you got to go through that to grow as a group, and hopefully this team can be a little better on the road this season.
They set the screen. Hardaway kicks to Sullinger. Here's Olynyk. That's good.
They've been so effective when they've been able to get the ball inside.
Some real shortcomings from this defense. I mean, they've given up 5 straight looks in the paint.
Jordan the pass to Ori. McGee sets the pick for Jordan, and he jams it with authority.
Boy, that's some physical basketball out there. I'm glad I'm not in the middle of that. A hard pick and an assault on the bucket.
Old school stuff there.
Yeah, there was a lot to like on that play.
Robinson passes to Ori. Poked loose, and so it looks like the Magic will retain possession here. Robinson goes in, poked away.
Poor shooting from him this quarter. His shooting percentage nowhere near where he'd like it to be.
And stolen by Jordan. There's 1:34 left in the fourth quarter. Hardaway with the steal, and now the Knicks on the break. Thompson inside the line. Yes, and it's Hardaway picking up the assist. Thompson's got 4 points this quarter.
Great interplay there between those two teammates.
Jordan off a pick from Grant. Ori kicks to Grant. It's stolen by Sullinger. Here's Hardaway, and it's sent back by Robinson. And they get it back, and he gets it back. Hardaway dishes to Sullinger.
And clearly no question as to which team gave the better effort tonight. A dominant performance and an outstanding win for the Magic.
This was a very efficient offense tonight.
They knocked down their shots. I mean, a little luck didn't hurt either. A lot of their 50-50 shots went in the basket.
And it'll advance their win total up to 12 on the season.
Really aggressive play, taking it to the rim against the big man.
Tell you what, I love that fearless attitude.
The drive by Jordan, and he throws it down hard with one hand.
And the crowd here, of course, not happy about the outcome. But you know what? We saw a team tonight that came in prepared to do battle on the road, and they clearly wanted the win.
They were determined to steal this game, and they showed it, Steve. Played harder and got the job done.
Hardaway passes to Thompson. Ori against Pierce. Shot denied. And they get it back. Hardaway for 3. They get it back.
And that's a really deft touch right there, guys.
And he just guided that ball back up and in. Clark, just a fingertip touch on the ball.
Really well done.
Yeah, you don't need to catch it and gather and try to go back up if you've got that type of angle, and he really took advantage.
Leaps for it, out of bounds as Orlando keeps possession. Orlando making some changes. Here's Beverly. Kicks it to Bazemore. And so it's Orlando taking this one by a big margin. Clark, every team has a bad night, and these guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves how dominant they can be.
Well, this is one of those.
Well, Nate, this team has shown in a
I wonder if you believe in fairy tales? Oh, a place where no one feels the pain, living without suffering. Roads are paved by loving hands, energy from turning fans. Oh, so won't you open up your eyes so you can see this paradise?